Hey, all of you out there in Eorzea, welcome to She Heals I Tank, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. Today is Friday, October 18th, and this is episode 190 of the Shit Podcast. I'm your host, Vegan Pete, always by my side, the wonderful, the lovely, the strangely with straight hair today.
Hey guys, Avi Ale here. I think it's so weird that you mention how I look in the podcast when people are just like listening.
It's weird because there are people watching also, and people are like, something's off. I can't quite put my hand on it, my finger on it, but something just isn't the same.
And when
if you guys were wondering that, it's because Avi straightened her hair.
And when it's straight, I can run my fingers through it, so like I can't stop. It's like ridiculous. But anyways.
So thank you, all of you joining us here at twitch.tv/ChehealsITank, or listening to us on the podcast, or watching it a day later on YouTube. However you choose to consume shit, we appreciate it.
You're a shit consumer.
We got some subs to shout out this week, Avi. We have DRTV Dakota, Crow623, Connolly, and Asa Meshame, all first-time subs. Thank you so much. We have Adeline, 2 months. Taldus, 4 months. Agitated Salamander, 5 months. Firefly Pendant, 6 months. Mog Moxie, 9 months. That's a shit baby. Hyper Pixie
Chuckletopia
Gaming.
actually timed it perfectly, but you didn't pay attention.
Oh, I didn't see it. A tier 3 sub from Chuckletopia, and that is for 8 months. And McLeod, whoa, a tier 3 sub from McLeod.
It must be payday.
They subscribed
It's my payday.
for 17 a month.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you so much for those tier 3s. Wow, you guys are generous today. Where did I leave off? Mog Moxie, 9 months. That's shit, baby. Said that. Hyper Pixie Gaming, we have a year, 12 months. Venjik for 14 months. And Wando25 met the number in his name. He's been subscribed for 25 months.
Oh, that's perfect. So now each month, Wando, you need to change your name up 1 number to match your sub months.
And so thank you all. That's really amazing.
I love it when Pete just ignores me and like moves on. He's like, and
I didn't have anything to add to that. Good idea, Avi.
Well, now you're just a dick.
Pizza dick. Really busy day, Avi. We had a live letter to get through. So busy I didn't really write an intro, but I think we have a big enough show that you don't need me blabbering at the beginning of it. So I think we should get right into it, Avi, with everyone's favorite segment.
Greenleaf Minute.
It's the Greenleaf Minute. And Avi, this week you have something that I didn't even know about.
Yes. So this week's Greenleaf Minute comes from a suggestion from, you guessed it, Discord. This week, Ursa Lacer recommended we share some information about customizing your targeting settings. Now, if you're like me, you also may have forgotten that back in 4.1, Final Fantasy XIV actually acknowledged that the targeting system was pretty frustrating, and it would sort of target erratically, like the farthest guy away from you and then the guy to the other far extreme. Like, it was really, really
the
frustrating.
only thing that truly pisses me off is when I'm on like a platform fight and there's a big ass monster in front of you and the hitbox is like 1/4 of the whole platform. For some reason, sometimes I hit tab, doesn't select a goddamn thing.
So if tab targeting is something you find frustrating, then this segment is for you. So first of all, we now have 2 different types of tab targeting.
Dose?
Yes. One is type 1, which is ignore depth, and type 2 is called cone. Ignore depth is the default setting. What it does is it prioritizes the second mob on the list from you. But if you can't see the list, this makes no literal sense to you, so it feels like you're going to be targeting mobs in a super random order, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the direction they're facing you, or even how close they are to you. It's just the list that the game puts them in for the area you're in. Cone targeting actually prioritizes mobs in a conal area directly in front of you, sort of like your AoE conal attacks that some classes have. You played a class with that? That's the same sort of area. What it does is it will cycle through the mobs that are standing in that area, and it cycles through the mobs as you hit tab, but it will never select mobs outside of that conal area, so you'll never tab through mobs that are behind you.
I wish it would just tab anything that I'm in range to hit.
Well, that's what the other one does. Well, no, I guess, well, it depends. You can't do that because then it'd have to be different for melee and ranged. They wouldn't do that. That's not gonna
That's
happen.
what I want.
It's
I'm
not
a
gonna
tank.
happen. All right. So I tried both of these earlier today because, like I said, I actually forgot about this. I highly recommend trying out cone targeting. It definitely gives you a better control of your tab targeting. And a lot of people from WoW will definitely prefer using cone targeting because it's much more similar to what they're familiar with World of Warcraft. However, also through researching this for the Greenleaf Minute, I actually came across another suggestion for targeting that I think could be really, really helpful as another option. This target option is actually a keybind. So there are two options presented to you. One of them is target nearest enemy, and the other is target nearest NPC or object. So basically whatever key you assign to each of these will perform that action. And then this is really handy if you don't like the conal option because you still want to have the ability to target one that's like closer to you all the time, but it'll also do it if they're behind you or to the side of you. So in order to set this up, you're going to navigate to I think I forgot to say how to get to the other one. I'll say that afterwards. I apologize. To get to the keybind, you navigate to System Menu, Keybind, Targeting. And then you're going to scroll down to Target Nearest Enemy and assign a keybind. And for the one that I talked about before, I apologize, I skipped over this segment. To change to Cone or Ignore Depth, you're going to navigate to System Menu. You just hit Escape to do that. Go to Character Configuration, Target, and then Target Type. And you'll see a bunch of different options within there. I know that I personally like to have my tab settings so that it only targets through like things I'm going to be killing. I don't want to be tabbing through players on the party or objects or anything like that. So you can adjust all of that in there, and you can also choose to have anything around that is targetable around you, like have like a yellow glow. There's a bunch of stuff you can play around with.
It looks like we got some PS4 players in chat, Avi. Is there any way through key binding maybe to get this to work for PlayStation?
I will let you know on Twitter. I don't know if you can keybind in PlayStation 4. I would imagine you can, because most games allow you, even if you're on console, to change what buttons you have what abilities assigned to. It's just you have a much fewer amount of buttons to keybind to. Many fewer. What's the?
I don't know. Just sounds weird.
All right. But yeah. I hope that helps. Mm-hmm.
You did all of it? Then thank you, Avi. Now we can finally go on to your favorite part of the show. It's the tweet of the week. It's the tweet of the week, Avi. I think you'll enjoy this one, though.
Okay.
Go ahead. Tell the people what it is.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about it.
Go ahead. It's
the
tweet of the week. I won't do it. Go ahead.
He's going to do it again.
I won't do it, I swear.
Hyper Pixie Games tweets on October 14th.
Tweet of the week.
A huge thank you to everyone who came to celebrate our eternal bonding ceremony with us. Hashtag FFXIV, hashtag wedding bells, hashtag party time. With a screenshot of her adorable eternal bonding ceremony, which was the first one she'd ever really attended to. So it was pretty cool.
And got eternally bonded to our friend Icarus as well, who's in chat occasionally.
FC member. It was really fun. They got the top tier package, so they got to choose their dresses and dye everything, and yeah, it was really fun. We had a really good turnout, and we streamed it live on Saturday.
Thank you to all of you that showed up as well. A lot of you made alts on Gilgamesh so you could attend that, and that was amazing.
It was a lot of fun.
All right, Avi, time for news and notes from around the realm. Of course, the big news of the day is that we got a live letter for, what number is it?
Do you want me to say it? I don't know how you're trying to set this up. Oh, his sound bit's not working.
Oh, son of a bitch.
He was so excited about that too, you guys. I'm like,
there it is.
There it is.
Live letter. Little Sammy Hagar for you. That was early this morning. They kicked off the live letter with a trailer for patch 5.1. And we should probably stop doing this, but I keep on wanting to make it work well. We're going to try to watch the live letter here.
The live letter or the trailer?
The trailer.
Oh.
Trailer debuted at the live letter.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Yes, we're going to watch 3 hours of
I know,
the
it was
live
like,
letter.
No, we're not.
Right now.
All right, I got to look over at Pete's computer over there. Because the other time, hey, somebody's
butt
is in our shot.
So this is a trailer for patch 5.1.
So are we going to silently do it, or are we going to try to talk about it?
I think we're going to try to talk about what we see. If you want me to pause it, you can just yell at me to pause it.
Pause it, bitch.
Why should today be any differently?
When I started watching this at work, it was the black screen for so long, I thought something was broken. So
I thought I was watching the Japanese one because she's still talking in Japanese right now.
So it's a big robot that's obviously going to be the Nier Automata reference.
Like Transformers.
Yeah, it's like
even the intro is very Nier Automata.
The music, the layout, the styling, and then we see the main character.
Find out that her name is 2P,
and she's dressed in white, which we've all seen from the trailers.
There stands a great palace built
so I believe this is the Grand Cosmos, the new dungeon.
Oh yeah, this right here is. It's really pretty. And so this is where the elves built, and we're going in there to check it out. There's this area in the like dance hall where they've got like ghosts of elves dancing together, and I thought that was a really cool dynamic.
And then we had the new beast tribe, which is the fairies, and I like that fairy because she had like
pink. She's pink.
White hair. And this is the little kid that we saved during the MSQ, right?
Right, yeah. The little Ra boy who we lost, Tesleen, trying to save. And he ran away. We don't know where he was, so we get to kind of see what's happening.
And then there's some sort of spell over this fairy gate.
Yep, it's opening up.
Everything we told
Now we're getting the new trial.
Hades
Extreme.
So there is a moment in this fight where Hades has like this giant staff that looks kind of like a crystal. And he shoves it into his head, and it's like a really cool animation, and I'm really excited to see how it all kind of plays out.
And we see some mechanics that we saw from the normal mode, so we can't really tell
how
how they're going to be
in his
different.
head. It's really cool, and it shatters.
That's how you phase change, baby.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then everybody's got a bunch of glowy light bits. I feel like they spent a long time on.
Yeah, and that's like set up perfectly for a phase change.
Yep.
And then we get the
MS2.
residents of Yulmar talking. I forget what the guy's name is. The girl's name is Dulia Chai. I forget what his name is.
It's her husband.
But it seems like he's taking over.
as a leadership
As
role.
the leader, yeah.
Like we can't sit on our laurels any longer.
We're back to 2P in the copied factory. I think that's what it's called.
Is that what she sounded like in Nier Automata?
I don't think that's her talking. I think
Okay.
that's a different
It was
voice.
a really weird voice.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that?
Sounded like an old voice.
Yeah.
And they have a tank in here. But it looks so much. And here's a new PvP mode. The Nadam. Back to Nier Automata. This Thornton fight that I just went by. That's actually Blue Mages fighting
cool.
Thornton.
We see a bunch of characters that we're going to be seeing.
Gaius quickly.
2P jumps in like this transformer
Which is
robot plane,
from
which
the
is really
game.
cool. Oh, I didn't know that. I just thought it looked cool. They did a really good job combining the character design of Final Fantasy and Nier for creating that character.
It looks amazing. And then this is Hades, so that's probably the second phase.
Dragoon.
That was
I would not soon
Justinian.
throw my
Yep,
life
yep.
away.
We got Xenos.
He's got some blood on his face.
You and yours went to save.
And I don't know who she's fighting right here.
2P.
Whoever she's fighting is... Oh, so it's... I know. 2P is the one in white.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who the one in white hair is.
No, I know, but you didn't say who was fighting, and we're having an audio audience, so I'm trying to
there's
help.
two people fighting. 2P is fighting someone who
From
has
Nier.
white hair, and I thought at first it might have been Thancred,
Mhm.
but the blade does not match a Thancred gun blade. It's a very thin blade.
Mm.
And we get the Warrior of Light hanging out with 2P, and the title, Vows of Virtue, Deeds of Cruelty, coming October 29th.
Nice. It's a really cool trailer. The trailer definitely got me more hyped for 5.1 than the recap notes sort of thing of Live Letter.
Yeah, it's hard to get excited by the live letter because it's in Japanese and we don't understand any of it natively.
Right.
So we always have to wait on a translation. So it's coming soon.
Well, also I noticed that like from everything I read from the Live Letter, which we're going to go over soon, not a lot of it really affects things that I enjoy doing. I mean, there's some things that I do, but it was like nothing that I was like, yes, about really, except for the 24-man raid, which I already knew was coming. So it's like,
Yeah, I understand that because we pretty much knew everything that we were getting already.
mhm.
And they were just like filling in some little gaps, giving us little teasers.
Yeah,
There was nothing really
kind of confirming things essentially.
new announced except for job changes.
So chat's saying that we didn't miss much, just some Yoshi P shenanigans. Yeah, because I was sleeping at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I was up at 5.
Yeah, but I mean, then I was like getting ready to go to work.
So I think we should go over some job changes because that was really what the new information was with this live letter.
A lot of job changes.
The main job that got changed was Ninja.
It was almost like, I'm surprised there actually weren't memes about it, because I heard people talking about like, okay, a third of the live letter was dedicated to ninja changes.
And we all knew that was coming.
We did?
Yeah, we knew Ninja was getting buffed.
I guess Melees knew that.
They talked about it before.
Mm.
And neither of us play Ninja.
Nope.
So I can't really say if this is a good improvement. But I would imagine ninjas are going to be happy with anything. I have noticed a lot more ninjas are when we're searching for pugs for
Mhm.
Savage. We've had a lot more ninjas join the group. So I think ninjas are excited and they're hoping they're keeping their gear up to date
Right,
anyways, in the hopes that ninja is really good. So ninjutsu and mudra are now categorized as GCD actions and will have charges up to 2 stacks. So I think that the goal of that is to just make it go faster, have less delays in animations. And I like anything that stacks. It's fun. Do you have any abilities that stack, Avi? On any of the jobs that you play?
Yes.
Okay. Do you like
Yes.
them?
Yeah.
Because that was a new change in this expansion.
Yeah, I like it.
really like them.
For Dancer, the charge ability that I have, which I know I should know what it's called, en avant, that is the one that I have that's got the stack, and it's really fun because sometimes you can go boom boom boom, and then other times you hold on to it. I think it's a fun option.
And across the board, they say just about all their actions have had their potencies adjusted. Interesting that they didn't say just like adjusted up.
Well,
It's
no,
just adjusted.
it's not always improved.
So maybe some have gone up, some have gone down.
Right.
I don't know.
It's about finding that happy balance.
Their dot is no longer part of a combo action, so you can just refresh that as needed. Kasatsu has been reverted back to a normal ability. The specification of Ten Shijin are now interchangeable actions and can activate ninjutsu at will. Trick attack's duration has been increased, but its effect nerfed. So Trick Attack can also be applied at any direction instead of strictly from the back now. So they made it easier to use and last longer, but it got a slight nerf in like the effect that it has.
Well, it seems like you're going to be able to use it more often, which is why they would nerf it.
They didn't mention the recast timer.
No, I just mean because you won't have to worry about the positionals. You'll just be able to use it.
Yeah, you can just throw it up regardless of where you are.
That's what I meant.
Hellfrog, medium, baklava, and bunchins. Yes, I know that's not baklava. Bava karaka.
What?
And bunchins gauge consumption is adjusted from 80 down to 50. And according to this change, the overall skills will see a review in its Ninki accumulation. And I have no idea what any of those words meant.
I feel like you always line this up to make me read Samurai. I don't think you've ever read Samurai.
Would you rather do Ninja?
Yeah. So next up, we have another melee DPS Samurai. Yoshi wants you to have faith. Even though the patch notes might make it seem like it's getting weaker, in reality, according to him, it's going to be stronger.
Really quickly, Avi. At the top of the show, I mentioned that people get distracted by your hair. We just had someone come in and say, oh, Concred adjusted Avi's hairstyle.
I know, but that's 'cause they can see me. I read that. I just, was being a good podcaster and talking to what we were talking about. Not myself. And thank you guys. Yoshi wants you to... Okay, so read that. Sorry. Shoha potency is now fixed at 400. It will be incorporated as part of your rotation, and you are required a medication stacks of 3 in order to... Pete wrote medication when it should have said meditation. Stacks of 3.
I'm going to blame spell check.
I was like, that seems wrong, but... You need 3 stacks of meditation in order to execute it. And a meditation stack is granted through meditate. Is that an I or an L there?
I believe it's an L.
Lajutsu.
I don't even know if these
Suba
are
Megashi.
correct because I'm going off someone's translation. And not that they would have translated it wrong, but they could have typed it wrong. So I have no idea.
Dev team made estimations that you may be using Shoha once every 40 seconds. The cooldown after Subamageshi will be affected by skill speed, and the usability of the job will increase for the better.
So it seems like pretty good buffs for Samurai.
Yeah.
The other two melee jobs didn't get substantial changes. Yoshida says that Monk's mantra ability is too strong at the moment, and that will be getting changed. But didn't go into more detail. Mantra is the spell that increases HP recovery via healing actions by 20% for self and nearby party members for 15 seconds. So I'd imagine they'll probably just go the easy route and reduce that percentage that it's more effective by.
Okay.
Dragoon's DPS will be getting an increase, and they're going to make the playability of it feel better. They didn't go into more details on that. We're going to have to wait for the patch notes for that. And I'll go ahead and do tanks. I actually wasn't expecting too many changes for tanks coming into this patch because I felt like they were all in a pretty good position. Like, there doesn't seem to be one preferred, maybe Paladins at the top over the rest of them, but there isn't like one or two preferred that every group is asking for. Any group can beat it with any tank.
Yeah, the tanks seem pretty solid right now. I mean, I guess the biggest thing is
And they aren't huge changes. One of the big ones is Reprisal is now going to be an AoE ability, and the duration is going to be doubled from 5 to 10 seconds. This makes it really useful for pulling wall-to-wall all the mobs in the dungeon, because now it will be a 10% reduction from a lot of mobs instead of just one. So it's going to make big pulls even easier. Sentinel and Vengeance effect will last 15 seconds, and for Warriors specifically, Holmgang's effect timer will also be extended.
So it does sound like the tank changes were not necessarily for tanks, but the tank changes were for healers.
I guess it goes both ways. Like, it makes us more tanky.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you just have to heal us less.
But what I'm saying is the changes they made to tanks aren't about keeping hate or doing more damage. It's about the healability.
Yep.
So on that note, moving on to healers, Scholar didn't get a lot of love, but they said they are going to improve its usability. But they already, made some changes for Scholar earlier by adding the energy drain back. So it's not like a huge thing. White Mage is having the range of Asylum adjusted, but the real changes that we see are for Astrologian. For Astro, MP consumption for spells is going to be adjusted, so probably going to be some up and down, as well as potencies regarding cards. Minor Arcana will be adjusted so that it reduces unnecessary steps. And specifics of Collective Unconsciousness will be changed where executing the skill will bring different effects depending on whether you're in Diurnal, hot and defense barrier of 10% damage mitigation, or Nocturnal, which instantly grants 10% damage mitigation shield that lasts 20 seconds. It's going to be different, of course, depending upon which sect you are in.
What does that mean? Is
Um,
this good changes?
I don't play Astro.
All right. Good luck, Astros. I hope it's good for you. Machinist and Dancers will be getting potency increases, and some skills will be getting recast timer reduction, so that's overall good for Machinist and Dancer.
Chad is saying that the Astrologian changes are good.
All right. Yay, Astros. Yeah.
Go ahead and read the next one.
Oh. Bards overall will be buffed, including its support ability. Bard won't be like what Bard was during 4.x, but songs will now have support effects added, and songs will always be up, while having synergy, but it will have its firepower weaker than Machinist as a result. So it gets some group synergy, doing less direct damage.
Well, it felt like they took away the support aspect of Bard with Shadowbringers, so it's good to bring it back.
And the sound effect for Apex Arrow when it's accumulated will change, so they're fixed.
Okay.
Just because of Apex Arrow.
I thought this was funny. So Pete was like, in the notes, Pete was like, Avi Summoner gets some changes. And I was like, dude, I haven't played Summoner since Heaven's Ward.
I thought that was your main job.
Seriously?
As a scholar, I get those two confused all the time.
Scholar is a healer, yes. All right, so Eggy Assault 1 and 2 are now categorized as spells and therefore will be affected by the global cooldown. Due to this change, the action potencies are going to be increased. Summoner's overall firepower is going to be increased, and the opener is now going to have Summoner pressing up to 6 buttons less within the first minute. That's a big deal because Summoner's got a long ass opener. The overall action recast cooldowns will be adjusted in order to make sure that the flow works together. Ruination effect from Tri-Disaster has been deleted, and direct damage now replaces that effect. Bane's trait will be adjusted. Its additional effect has been changed from 15% to 100% potency.
Did that bring back any memories? Do you know what any of that means?
I do, but it's literally, they're just... My complaint after Heaven's Word was that Summoner didn't play well to me. It wasn't a fun flow. I didn't like the direction that they took, like the rotation. So I mean, I'd be willing to give it a chance if they totally kind of redone the
Yeah, so that says that it's
rotation.
going to have 6 less buttons during the opening minute. So,
But I'm not willing to play a class like Summoner with such a... It usually has a pretty in-depth rotation while I'm going to school and not able to focus on one class. Like I'm like, hey, dancer,
well,
let's dance.
Maybe this next class or job is for you. Black mages won't have any significant changes, but there will be a minor improvement on displaying your triple cast stacks.
Okay.
So
That's good.
You didn't need anything, Black mages. Be happy with your UI improvement.
I actually do want to level my Black Mage because it is a class I have fun with. And so finally, rounding out the job changes is the Red Mage, and their overall potency is going to increase and be buffed at actually quite a considerable amount. The Red Mage's traits will also be buffed, and the devs acknowledge that the proc is very RNG reliant. Therefore, Acceleration's specifications will be changed to have up to 3 stacks, and the timer will be eliminated. However, its cooldown will be adjusted as a result, so it's probably going to be longer.
I don't know anything about Red Mage. I haven't even unlocked it, but I have.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I have.
Wow.
I have raided with a Red Mage.
Yeah.
I do notice that like sometimes his DPS is like crazy good, and then sometimes it's way lower. And I'm like, he didn't die.
And
like,
that's since Shadowbringers, right? Because I felt like Red Mages were very consistent in Stormblood.
I don't remember. I was thinking more this raid tier.
Oh, okay.
While he was in the group.
I felt like Red Mage's DPS, and I didn't do like high end content with Red Mage, but it felt very, very solid in Stormblood. But the fact that it's incredibly inconsistent now means it's not. You can't rely on it, and if you can't rely on it, you don't want that class in your party necessarily.
And hasn't that kind of been something they've complained about of Bard and Machinist in the past too? Like, don't they learn just not to make it all based off procs?
When the new classes they brought, like Stormblood was all very proc based. Machinist was was all proc based. They did a lot of that. And even with Dancer, it's very proc based. So they enjoy that.
And they had to buff it already.
I actually like having the proc based elements simply because it adds a little bit of variety to your rotation. So I don't really hate that. But maybe that's just me.
I actually like that too because it lights up and you're like, oh, I hit that now. Oh, thank you for that $5 donation, Chili. Really appreciate that.
Aw, sweetheart.
All right, so that's all the job changes. Overall, I think those are pretty good, pretty warranted. It seemed like the jobs that needed it the most were Ninja and Astro. They got it. Samurai also got a pretty good buff too. Tanks got a buff that they didn't really need, in my opinion.
Tanks got a buff for healers.
It's like they got a buff for healers, but then they also nerfed the monks help the healers ability.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think it was probably easier for them to adjust the tanks than to adjust the healers.
I think there's someone on the dev team that just like really likes doing the biggest pools possible, and he just wanted to make it a little bit easier.
Hey, a lot of people like that.
So moving on from job changes, another piece of content that we didn't know much about was the next Ultimate raid. Have you even read this far, Avi? Do you know what it is yet?
Nope.
Do you want to guess before you read?
I think I'd heard that it was like repeats of old fights, kind of.
Well, they're all repeats of old fights, but...
Well, then no.
Okay. We'll do a Greenleaf Minute on what the ultimate fights are. We knew we were getting one, but we didn't know what it would be based off of. Turns out that this tier of Ultimate will feature bosses from Alexander. It will be called the Epic of Alexander Ultimate and will comprise of Alexander, Brute Justice, and Cruise Chaser.
You know why I don't know what any of the Ultimate fights are? 'Cause I don't do them.
Well, I don't usually do them either, Avi. But kind of interesting to me about this one for me specifically is I didn't have a static for Heaven's Ward, so I didn't Savage Raid any of this. So that's why I'm actually interested that if our static can get Titan Savage down fairly quickly, I would really like to do this ultimate raid, just because I haven't even done the Savage part of it yet.
That's fair. Thank you, Sakura Storm 8312 for subscribing. I think it's your first time. Really appreciate that.
Thank you so much. And even though I haven't attempted ultimate raids in the past, I really enjoy that they are a thing, Avi. I like that there's a world first race for it. I think it's really good for the game, actually.
That's the comment I was gonna make. I was gonna say it's good for the game. It's not necessarily, I don't watch it, and it's not something that I'm into. But again, and I've made comments about the game, I don't need to be into every part of it. Like, I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah. And for some reason, I'm just that person that likes to watch competition. So when there's a world first race going on, I'm really into it.
Mhm.
I'm the type of person that's up at 2 a.m. in the morning watching curling during the Olympics. I'm like, all right,
Who are you?
USA's doing some curling. Let's go. Go USA.
He gets really into curling, you guys. It's kind of weird.
Any game, any competition, I'm in for it. So I like watching the people that are the best at something compete in it. So I will be watching this world first race for Ultimate, even though I don't have a team. I just like seeing.
Maybe you can stream you, not necessarily like showing the curling, but you watching it on the other, and have people watch it with you, and then it could be like a social interaction of like the 12 of you that watch curling.
We need a Twitch and Olympics partnership. So another piece of content that got fleshed out a little bit more is New Game Plus. We've talked
You
about.
don't want me to read this?
Nah, I go off a little bit on this one.
Oh, all right.
Maybe not how you think, though.
Okay.
We've talked about it before. When it releases, it will not have a Realm Reborn content because obviously they're reworking that content right now.
Yeah, they're trying to get that ready.
I think we're getting New Game Plus because at almost every live letter, there is always someone that asks some form of the question of, will they ever add the ability to go back and replay MSQ content? That's all I ever expected from this Avi. I just wanted to go back and play a piece of content.
Right.
So I'm fine with what's being released.
Okay.
However, there are a lot of disappointed people.
All right.
Apparently, a lot of people wanted something from this.
Okay.
And I had never even thought about that. People wanted rewards from this.
I can see. Well, I mean, this game rewards everything. So, I mean.
Not this.
Right. But I can see that being part of it. I'm not disappointed about it personally, but I'd be like, oh, I would have assumed they would have done a, yay, you replayed the whole game reward. Like, you get a title or something. Aw, I got some bits from Chuckletopia. So it's for me, not you.
Straightening that hair. But yeah, you will get nothing for this.
I'm sure they're going to add a title. Come on, that's so easy to do.
No XP for alts, no mounts, no minions, nothing. And I say good.
Oh, Pete's all salty.
I think at the most, if you decide to play through this all over again on the same character, all you should get is a title that says, why did I do this?
I think that'd be a wonderful title.
Square Enix added this because all of you continuously asked for this at live letters. Yoshi P told you to go make an ult, but you kept on asking. So he finally gave it to you, and now you're going to complain that there are no rewards for it? You want rewards for something that you've already done before. MSQ content is not hard. You don't deserve any additional reward after you've done it your first time and already got your goddamn reward on your main character.
I actually did think about this for a moment today. I was like, it would be kind of cool if I could use that to go level in a different job. No, let me finish. And I was just like, that would be kind of cool, but I don't see that happening. It doesn't make sense because MSQ experience is too easy and you don't necessarily learn how to play the game. It's for people who are new.
It's too easy, and you don't want to take people out of that pool of people joining dungeons and roulettes either. You don't want people.
You sure?
Yes.
You sure?
I'm 100% sure.
I wouldn't mind taking me out of that tank roulette.
So your reward for this is that you get to relive the MSQ.
See, I like to make an alt and I want to go through and redo all that stuff, but then it makes me sad that like my alt doesn't have all the things I've gathered on my other character, like all of the holiday gear stuff and the emotes and everything like that to the point where you almost feel like stunted. So that's why I don't make alts. If they opened that stuff up, so, achievements you've made on one character was available like on all your characters, not necessarily like well, I guess those are content achievements, but like the special event ones that you can't repeat. Like if that was available content, like character wide or account wide, I'd be more into making an alt, but I'm just like,
Yoshi P says, please visit the Mog station.
I know, right? We're slowly adding them all so you can pay for them individually. But yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think everything has to have a reward. Sometimes you just do something for the enjoyment out of it.
No, we don't.
Yeah, if I throw on Ocarina of Time on the N64, I'm doing that because I enjoy it.
Oh my God, I want to play that game again.
Not because I'm looking for some reward about it.
That's the first game. No, not the first game. That was one of the first games I was ever like hardcore addicted to.
Like the MSQ should be like the most enjoyable part of this game. That's what you come back for. You unsub for a couple of months and then you come back when they add more MSQ for that.
All right.
So that should be enough for you.
Cater just had a great idea. Someone needs to make a t-shirt that says, I replayed the MSQ and all I got was this lousy t-shirt.
It has New Game Plus on the back of it.
Yeah, that needs to happen. I like that.
Unless you did it at FanFest,
I mean,
and then
I
you will
think
not get a shirt.
If they get to the point where they do add the A Realm Reborn side of it, and they have all of the entire MSQ that's ever been done added to it, and you start from the beginning and play it all the way through the end, I can see them adding a title. I personally don't collect titles, so it's not a thing to me. So even if I got it, I'd be like, I got a title. Unless it's funny or ironic or like ridiculous, I don't pay attention to the titles. So I don't collect things like that in general.
Title will be but why. But yeah, I'm sure the same people that asked for this will keep complaining and complaining, and Square Enix will eventually add a reward.
Like I said, there's going to be a title, but they're going to do it because they want to give the reward for doing the whole thing. Yeah, you want proof that you did it. It's bragging rights. That's all it is.
Bragging rights for replaying something you've already done that's brain dead easy?
Why not? It's Beb, okay, the relic weapons. That's brain dead easy grind.
But yeah, but at least you had to grind for it.
But that's what the MSQ is going to be if you're starting
over.
It's
not a grind.
It's time commitment.
Story. It's fun.
It's all the Realm Reborn is not fun. There's going to be a lot.
They're fixing that.
There's still a lot of fetch quests and stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't care if there was a title. I don't want there to be a minion. I don't want there to be a mount. I don't want there to be any housing items. If it's just a title,
I don't give a shit about a title.
I'm okay with it being, like I said, then if it's a title, then it kind of like makes everybody happy.
Give them a title, Square Enix. Compromise.
Oh my gosh, Peter. All right. I don't know where you are on the...
We're on the Beast Tribe,
All
baby.
right. So you said you have pictures for this one.
I do.
All right.
There's the outline.
So next up, we have Beast Tribes, and which, of course, are the Pixies, and they're pink. We've known it was going to be the Pixies for a little bit. However, the way they are implementing it is what's new. It's looked like it's actually going to have its own instance, and the instance looks amazing. It's vibrant, it's full of slides and swings, and it looks like a kid's dream playground, which is ideal for the Pixies. One odd point, though, is that in the translation, they said that you won't have any other player characters in the instance with you. Pete thinks that this could have been a joke. I don't think it was a joke. So Pete was trying to say, like, I can't, if there's a technical issue or some reason for doing this, I think they made it kind of like a gate. Like, the Beast Tribes are something you do by yourself. So the instance is by yourself, kind of like doing the Air Force One. That's technically an instance that you're in by yourself. So I think it's essentially treat it like that.
But why? Like, all the other Beast Tribes we've been affecting, and you can, like, see the Beast Tribe areas change for you, but not everyone else.
This
Even
isn't
though you
the Beast.
still all go there.
I don't know. Well, maybe this is bigger. Also, Chuckletopy says, read to the MSQ, and all I got was the opportunity to interrupt Avi. And it gave me bits in the middle of me talking.
But because I didn't want Pete to feel left out, 100 bits.
I was like, there's a ding. What was the ding? Try to talk through it.
So this picture that I have up right now, Avi, we have I think a new Pixie. Like, these are all like fleshed out, real, kind of like our Guardian.
Yeah.
Feo Ul.
Yeah. I love them.
Pink
They're
hair.
pink. They're like my favorite kind of pink, where it's kind of like they're like rose pink. They're
And
like, yeah,
this
like rose gold pink.
Dumbo pig next to her.
So cute. It's flying with its ears like I wish the freaking elephant mount did.
Yeah, I actually thought that was going to be a minion, but
It's not?
it is a mount.
I can have a pink mount finally that doesn't look like it's got a butt for a mouth, like a mouth for a butt.
Yeah, I think I wrote it a little bit lower so you don't have to read it, but I think that's like the perfect Lala mount.
I think it's the perfect Avi mount. Right around on my pink piggy.
And then moving on, we have one that has white hair, not pink hair, and a blue leotard.
They have good hair. I
Yeah.
like that they embrace the big hair in Shadowbringers. They finally embrace like the fact that hair doesn't need to just. The big hair before was anime hair. Now the big hair is like got styles and waves and kind of curves to it, not just spikes. And I super agree with that.
And Chili says the mount even has a mount action. I wonder what's going to be.
It's-
Oink, oink.
Squee!
And this is a picture
My
where
God,
you can really see the
so
vibrant.
This is actually what I'm most excited for. It's like Candyland meets Rainbow Bright meets my dreams.
It's like if you like tell an 8-year-old to draw her like utopia, and this is what it would be.
Or
and this is what the fairies have come up with.
or me to do it right now and have a pink and purple sky with pink and purple tree and rainbows and flowers everywhere and slides.
Slides, swings.
Oh my God, it looks amazing. Like, I love this. It's ridiculously over the top, and I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be like an obstacle course kind of thing.
That's interesting. Like the one thing I was thinking of, if it is like truly a solo instance, that there could be some story how in Shadowbringers, when we first went into that fairyland, they had the spell over us. So maybe there's going to be some sort of spell in there.
Well, and if you see it, there's multiple doorways within there. So obviously from the trailer, the gateway that had like the purple fog in front of it was one of the Pixies doorways. So I feel like we're going to be opening up this area to other parts of the world so that they can kind of travel between different dimensions or something like that. Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doorways I can see from the screenshot.
I just really hope they have a reason for making its own solo instance.
So that they could put this much color and sparkle and glitter in it and not break everybody's computer because it's just
So
like
you think
alone.
just for that,
I hope so. I don't care.
you'd
I love
be
it.
okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Also said it looks traumatizing. I love it. I think it's amazing. I'm going to make glamours specifically for me to go to this zone and take screenshots, and I don't do that. And I would totally be like, hey guys, I'm streaming today, making glamours to go take screenshots in Pixieland. Come hang out. Like, I would totally do that.
Well, they finally added content for Avi.
But then I'll be over it pretty quickly.
And there's going to be some new emotes as well. The one I saw was the character leaning against the wall. Kind of cool.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
It's a new one. How can I explain it other than your character leaning up against the wall like a cool kid?
It was our character? Oh, I didn't hear. So this is an emote?
Yes.
Ah, I missed that word, and without that word, that made 0 sense.
All right. And not ready for that picture yet.
I didn't expect there to be an emote like I was in Pixieland, okay? I wasn't.
You were in Pixieland.
You got to bring me back to that. All right. Pete, you messed. There it is. Okay. Sorry.
Another thing I really like is new Extreme Trials, Avi. And they had kept it a secret until today, but I don't know why everyone and their mother was predicting it. It's going to be Hades Extreme, and we saw that in the trailer that we watched at the beginning of the show.
Wait, the 24 man?
No, this is new Extreme.
Oh, I was below that. Sorry.
You should listen.
Nah.
It's going to be Hades Extreme. Yoshida says it's going to be around the difficulty of Shinryu Extreme when that was first released. And I think that really is the sweet spot for the Extreme Primals. That one was a pretty good difficulty.
That was when I was going through my capstone and did not do them when the content was new.
Chili says the Extreme has such long cutscenes that it gives 2 totems when you beat it.
Wow.
I had heard it drops 2 totems. I hadn't heard the reason why.
Takes a
Is it
long
just
ass
so
time.
long?
It's the MSQ of Extreme Trials.
So hopefully it's one of those ones where if you get halfway through, you start at the second half if it's going to be that way.
Oh, yeah.
because if the cutscenes are that long, if like the transition between phase 1 and phase 2 are that long, that would be pretty annoying.
So Pete, Chuckletopia in chat is asking, where does that fall in terms of Titania? Harder or easier?
That would be harder than Titania.
Okay.
In my opinion. I guess it's all kind of subjective, right? You could have one fight that's for some reason hard for you.
And we get some more pictures for the 24-man raid. However, they didn't say too much more than the fact that it's new. Do you have pictures to go over?
Yeah, so we get 2P, which is the female protagonist from that we're borrowing from Nier Automata.
Her outfit is so pretty.
The picture we get is with the dwarves. And I'm interested to see how the dwarves are going to take part in this Nier Automata 24-man raid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have any sort of like weird conjecture from that. I'm like, I don't know how they work them in.
How does this make sense?
Because we got, even in the MSQ, I feel like we were kind of robbed of getting more dwarven lore and stuff like that. So maybe they're adding it now. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I'd like to see more dwarves.
Mako, he's been saying 2P. Pete just doesn't always enunciate.
I just suck at enunciating.
Yeah. Chili says that supposedly it actually happens near the dwarven area.
Okay. And
you know what? It makes sense because it does look like it's in mines, and like these little robots kind of come out of the mines with their creepy red glowy eyes, and the dwarves are the miners. So
yeah, so we see a lot of these robots in Nier Automata, so those are pretty much exactly like they were in that game.
But they also fit perfectly into 14.
Yeah, I mean they're fine. I have no problem with them at all.
I was just commenting on how seamlessly they are integrated. Sheesh, man.
And then we get a wide shot of, what do I want to call it? Just like the raid. But what's disappointing to me, and what's disappointing to me in every 24-man raid, is we get an exterior shot like that. That's what I was looking for. Exterior shot. And all I want to do is explore that right now. And I know we're just going to have one path for us to go through. We're not going to be able to see anything on the side. And that's super disappointing.
Oh, yeah, you're not going to be able to walk through those trees and stuff.
Yeah, all I want to do is explore. And then we have these pinkish, purplish orbs that look like they're made out of electricity going everywhere.
Like, yeah, shocky pink bubbles.
And that's straight out of Nier Automata as well. You definitely dodge a lot of those.
All right, Pete, so Chad is asking, and I actually didn't know, my brain kind of brain farted on this. So usually we get 3 24-man raids, and they're asking, are all 3 supposed to be based on Nier, or just this one?
Yeah,
one person commented that there's supposed to be both, but aren't there 3? So is it all 3 of them?
Yeah, I mean, they all
it's a continuous
fit
story.
Together, yeah.
Oh my gosh, Pete, you have the character 2P there. It looks like she's standing there with us.
I was confused for a good 10 seconds. I was like, what the hell is going on right now? We got the 2P character with a clear background, so it looks like she's standing
That's
with us
amazing.
right now. So yeah, that's 2P. Looking good. And they didn't really go into detail about what kind of loot we're gonna get, but Yoshi P said something to the effect of, I know people really want it and you're gonna get it. I'm hoping it's weapons, because Nier Automata had some pretty cool weapons in it.
Oh.
But the only 24-man raid I can think that ever dropped a weapon was that one.
The random sword.
Void Arc?
Yeah, the random sword.
Where you had that Ultima fight also, and it was like a blood sword,
yeah,
I think.
But it was like just a glamour piece.
And it was something you could buy from the gold saucer anyways.
Maybe they'll do the same thing, though. Then it's just a glamour,
But
pretty looking.
Hopefully it's a couple different weapons, because that was only for Paladin, I believe.
It was just a sword, so yeah, like only that class could use it.
And then we have crafting and gathering and the restoration of Ishgard. I guess I actually do have some pictures for this as well.
Do you want me to talk about it?
So this guy that they have right here in the picture is, I think it's the guy that is that the one that we didn't throw overboard, but he got thrown overboard at Yulmore?
They stopped him from getting thrown overboard. I thought this was the guy
we saved him.
This is the one who took Alphino's place.
Yes.
And
the one that Alphino has the hots for.
He cut himself. Yeah.
He's going to be the new guy that you turn in your collectibles to.
Oh, that makes sense.
He's the custom deliveries guy.
Okay.
So you're going to be able to put him in new outfits as well. You'll be able to glamour him.
I do like that they took someone from the main storyline and made it someone who you're going to be interacting with on the regular. I think that's really cool.
All the other ones have been, except for...
The last Aura one, was he somebody? There was the big Aura guy. I don't know that you could dress up.
I forget.
I don't do collectibles. Sorry, guys.
So yeah, he's going to be the new collectible guy. And that's all they had about the custom deliveries.
Okay.
Just
that it's going to be that guy, and he's in Yulmore, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't know why they gave us pictures on that. But the first part of crafting and gathering changes will come in 5.1. There will be more in 5.2. There's just too many. They couldn't get it all in one, Avi.
That's what she said.
They're going to get rid of some actions and be adjusting others. I think we're just going to have to wait until the patch notes to see how much of a gutting these will get.
Oh, there was a picture from the live letter. I guess you didn't see it, where it was like they were logging into a crafter and it looked like 60-70% of the buttons had the red, the hotkeys had the red
Like a
slash.
legit one or a fan made?
No, like a legit one. Like it's a lot. It's a lot of the buttons are gone. And they'd said that it was because they didn't want people to feel like, okay, I've leveled my crafters. Now give me a macro so I can craft. They want it to be more approachable so more people will craft, and that they're not necessarily going to be able to fully do away with macros because people are still going to utilize them, but that at least it's going to be much more approachable and there's going to be less redundancies, which I think they've been really working on for crafting for a while.
Which does make sense, because if you level up your crafters, you buy gear, you meld it, and then you ask for a macro, how's that any different if they just make it easy? Oh, I guess you're putting in more effort, but in exchange for that, in return for that, Yoshi also said that they are working on making very difficult recipes as well.
But that's cool. Like, make it difficult, but that you can't do a macro.
And that's what I'm saying. Hopefully he makes some difficult recipes where you aren't going to be able to do it purely by macros.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to have to do a rotation. You're going to have to look for if something procs and use this ability in response to that.
I'll admit, like, because I mentioned, like, I play ESO with Pixie for Greenleaf Gaming. I actually enjoyed the crafting and gathering, and the gathering in ESO, because it's much more like Skyrim, kind of random. You run across stuff and you gather it, and also it's just the crafting is not as intimidating as it is in 14. Like 14, I just only do things that are easy. If it's got stars or anything else like that, or anything, I'm just like, Bubba, make that thing for me, because I just don't even want to deal.
And I think I am going to like this change, especially if they make the hard stuff to craft, because that's kind of how it was in A Realm Reborn before we had so much button bloat.
Yeah.
And you also got gear by making hard items.
Okay.
And turning those in instead of crafting 3,000 collectibles to turn them in for scripts and buying gear with scripts.
Chuckletopia made a comment in chat that says it scares him that they might put too much RNG into it, where it has the opportunity for failure that could completely be out of your hands.
I mean, I'm okay with that to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can up the rate. If they do that, if they make it so RNG based, then they could just like make the rate that you lose all your materials much less.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a fair trade-off. But I'm hopeful for this. I really hate just making 1,000 of something. I'd rather make 10 things that are really hard.
I get that. I actually agree with that.
Also, Desynth will now be 100 successful all of the time.
I totally stopped leveling it because when I heard that was coming.
I knew they were changing it. I didn't think they were going to go this far. Maybe
they said they were going to.
They already did?
Yeah.
Guess I wasn't paying attention.
Nope.
They didn't go into detail if they are getting rid of the whole level up system, but maybe they did. I don't know. I'm guessing that as long as you have a crafter leveled to whatever level the gear is, you'll be able to desynth it 100% of the time. I don't think they're even going to make it so...
That makes more sense.
So you can only
if
have
you can
3
craft
levels.
it, why can't you desynth it? Like, you should be able to desynth anything that you can craft.
It's just one of those MMO things where they make artificial gates for you, so you have to grind a little bit. It is like a classic MMO trope.
No, I'm okay with that. I'm saying I didn't like that I only was allowed to do 3 of them, regardless of how many classes I leveled. And it was a pain in the butt to level.
Can only pick 3 specialists.
I've had my goldsmith and my leatherworker at like stuck at a really annoying level for a long time where I just have to spend a ton of gil or farm the hell out of certain dungeons to desynth gear, and that's stupid to have to do.
I agree. At certain points, desynth was pretty annoying.
So Chad is saying sell your D-materia soon, boys and girls. That market is going to tank. Or
Most likely, or they adjust the rates.
most of them actually don't sell for that much. There's only like one or two that do. I always sell those to the Domain Enclave because they give you double. So the ones that are worth like 3,000, like I get 6,000 for, and those rarely sell for that much on the market board.
And so that was the general crafting and gathering changes. And they didn't really go into detail on any of the gathering, so I don't know how that's going to change. But the restoration of Ishgard will actually come in patch 5.11, and I think I forgot to mention it. The ultimate raid is also going to come in patch 5.11, which is 2 weeks after patch 5.1. At the start, it will only be crafted turn-ins. Later on, they will be adding gathering. Basically, what it is you go to a bulletin board similar to the hunt board. It will say what's needed, and you make collectibles to turn in to help with the restoration of Ishgard. Doesn't seem too difficult. Some of the rewards they showed off was a hairstyle, a gorilla mount.
How do you not have pictures of these? The gorilla mount was amazing. It was
They weren't released by Square Enix. They just showed them on the stream.
It was the gorilla from what dungeon was that? It was like the Limsa Lominsa trial one, and there was like the pirate guy at the end. But anyways, you fought the big gorilla, and chat's gonna be like, it's this dungeon. But so it was a Lalafell, and he was just like, it was King Kong, and he was just carrying the Lalafell in like his right hand. I was like, oh my god, that's hilarious.
Well, is this not a reskin from that one that's from PvP? But it was like a golden monkey?
I don't PvP enough to get mounts. Hullbreaker Isle. See, I knew somebody would know it. Thank you, Nico. I'm sorry.
I'm interested to see if there's going to be any more rewards than that at launch. Because I guess that's kind of cool. But I don't usually do stuff for mounts or minions.
I know, you give away your Nightmare Pegasus because you think you have one.
That was by accident. Is it Nightmare or Night? Night Pegasus? The one from Palace of the Dead that sells for like 40 million gil. Gave it away.
The second one. Not the one to me, but another one.
Yeah, because I'd rather have some...
Oh, it's a black Pegasus. Sorry.
Some gear rewards instead of just mounts and minions. I'd like to have my gear treadmill a little bit easier.
You mean like gear as in gear with eye levels or gear with glamour?
No, gear for my crafter to make it easier to craft and stuff like that. Because they said the ranking system won't come until later. So I wouldn't be surprised if those are the only rewards we're getting at launch.
Okay, you know what I'm surprised they didn't talk about, by the way? I just realized because you said hairstyle. They did not mention that the Viera are going to be able to have other hairstyles.
Well, they've said that from the beginning, that they'll be adding them back or adding some. But they didn't
mention that any were going to be added. That was my point. Like, they didn't talk about that. Sorry. That
so
bothers me.
Are they adding them or are they not adding them?
They don't know. They didn't. I didn't see anything that said they were. I'm just annoyed because I put a lot of effort into gathering freaking hairstyles and now I can't use any of them.
Get wrecked, Vieras.
And Rothgars.
So yeah, hopefully they have more endgame crafting rewards at the end of it. They also mentioned scratch tickets being added as a reward in future updates. I'm guessing that's just going to be like a typical lottery scratcher ticket, and you win gil, maybe some gear.
Which is kind of like the
I don't mind that
board.
if they're going to make the restoration of Ishgard something that you have to turn a lot in of. Like I said, I don't really like doing a lot of stuff, but if I can just like get a whole bunch of lottery scratchers from it, at least that gives me something to do after I turn it all in and scratch all the tickets. I don't know. I like it.
All right. Okay, so the Golden Saucer, Pete has some pictures for. A new gate has been added called The Slice is Right. Come on down. No, which takes place on the same platform as Typhoon. But instead of being frozen and hoping that the AoE misses you, it looks like there are going to be different patterns of mechanics going off, and you're going to have to move around to avoid them.
Yeah, and they have Yojimbo in this picture and some big stacks of bamboo, and he slices them. So you're probably going to
then they fall.
Yeah, you're going to have to avoid where they fall. I saw the Rabanasti move done when they previewed it. So you're basically just running around avoiding all of the shit going on.
That's actually a good way to teach people those mechanics too for 24-man raids.
This is the Hall of the Intermediate.
What?
We had the Hall of the Novice. And they always talked about maybe Hall of the Intermediate. This is what we got. This is the beta test.
All right. I don't mind that. All right. So now for the moment everyone has been waiting for. That's right, you guys. PvP adjustments.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
And by hell yeah, I mean, who cares?
You don't know. You might like it now.
No.
You might.
Doubtful.
You don't know. Don't be a hater. You can't go
Doubt.
You can't go into it with this negative attitude. So there are going to be no more 24-man front lines. Now you're going to have to wait for 72 players. Waiting time to return to battle will be 1 flat time. It won't increase with every death. That's nice. Party size when registering for a duty is now limited to 4 players. Battle high adjustments have been made. Pete thinks that it's being super overthought now because there's 5 different stages.
Yeah, I think Square Enix has this problem. They overthink PvP. Nothing they do ever works.
My God, you are
Why do they keep on coming out with new PvP modes when they can't even get one that people really like?
Because Pete, okay, you just literally if the ones they have people don't like, why wouldn't they keep trying to make different ones?
Just adjust the ones you have until you get it right.
Can they be adjusted to the people like them?
Sure, why not?
I don't think they can.
Get
I don't know
rid
if
of
they
the
can.
one. You could have got rid of the one with ice and just made it this.
I like the ice one.
And the no 24-man front lines, that kind of sucks because the queues are going to get even longer for that.
So there's
the party size limited to 4. I have a feeling they're just discouraging people from going in as a good group of 8.
Yep.
And wrecking shit.
Yep.
But
because it doesn't make it fun for anybody else.
But why are you punishing people for wanting to be good at the game?
To make it so Square Enix likes to make it an even playing field. That's kind of their goal all the time with everything they do, in my opinion. So there's also a tactical rating bonus for defeating players affected by Battle High that has been removed. New PvP mode is called Ansel Haikar. I'm sorry, I probably butchered that. Which is essentially the Nadam that we had in Stormblood MSQ, which was really fun, and people have really been asked to revisit that. So in this situation,
I think you can do that in New Game Plus.
Each team must fight to claim is it OVU or OVOO?
I'm saying OVO.
OVU that appears on the field. Once the gauge displayed over the OVU is filled, it's claimed by your team. Once claimed, your team's tactical rating will gradually increase over time. An OVU that has been claimed will be rendered inaccessible.
I'll try it. I'll play it for a little while, and I'll probably get bored of it.
You're such a...
Because nothing you do in there affects anything outside of there.
I don't care about that.
And I've said that enough.
I don't even care about that.
I don't need to poop on this because I think everyone will do it after a week anyways. Miscellaneous, Avi.
All right.
There will be a 14... Oh, I feel bad because when I was when you were like, and now what everyone's been waiting for, Avi was like, Blue Mage. And I'm like, I didn't even put Blue Mage in the outline.
Oh, you didn't put Blue Mage in the outline?
Blue Mage is getting an update, people.
Oh my gosh. And they're getting they get the Morble mount.
Is that where that mount comes from?
Yeah, it's really cool. Blue Mage is getting... I mean, I'm not going to do it because I didn't enjoy Blue Mage, but Blue Mage gets some really cool stuff at it. And now the maximum level is level 60. And they're adding more healing capabilities to Blue Mage to try to make it a more well-rounded class, which is kind of how they made it seem like they wanted it to be before, but it definitely had some areas it was lacking.
And during the trailer, when we saw Thornton, that is what the Blue Mages were doing, trying to learn an ability from Thornton.
Which is really cool. And so sorry that Pete didn't write that up, but that's what I remember from reading the notes that I read on the
Sometimes I forget that Blue Mage is even a thing.
I'm amazed you even put PvP in here. I feel like Blue Mage is above PvP in your mind.
No. I've done PvP more recently than I have played Blue Mage.
That's because you wanted the rewards.
And they're getting a new...
And they're getting its own dungeon. Thank you, Chili.
Getting its own dungeon?
That's what Chili said.
Is that the Carnival thing?
No, they already have that. Now they're getting their own dungeon.
They're just getting updated.
Oh.
All right. There's going to be a 14-hour stream by Square Enix that will include a live letter on December 14th. It will be in Japanese only, no translators.
Ooh.
Crafting and gathering pins will be added to the e-store in Japan. No NA or EU date set yet. I wouldn't mind crafting and gathering pins. I think I enjoy those more than my actual job pins.
Okay.
Same with acrylic figurines, a giant beaver plush, Heidelin smashing Zodiac cave painting as a t-shirt. If you live in Japan, you'll get a chance to buy those much sooner than in North America or the EU. Maybe you can import them. I don't know. Check out the e-store in Japan if you'd like to find out.
VPN, guys, VPN.
Shadowbringers was nominated for 2 Golden Joystick Awards, Best Game Expansion and PlayStation Game of the Year.
Wow, that's some really big nominations. That's really cool.
And in the show notes, we'll link where you can go and vote for them. And they will be doing a patch note reading for 5.1 on Tuesday, October 29th at 1500 Japan Standard Time, which would be 11 p.m. Pacific Time if Google didn't lie to me.
All right, Pete, do the soundbite.
Ooh, I didn't even know you had one. Trying to stump me. Don't think it will ever work.
And actually, this is the last lore question I have that I was able to find. So if I have not asked your lore question, I'm going to say it again. Please reach out to me again. I've got a better system now to keep track of them all. I went through it. I think this is the last one I've got. And Pete, this one is not multiple choice.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I didn't have time to make it multiple choice. And it's from Dat Tail, doe.
Hey, yo.
Lore question is, based on our current understanding of the Asians, it's possible for us to see some of the Asians we've killed return. Why is it possible that we may see some Asians return but not others? Why is defeating Elidibus so essential to wiping out the Asians?
Is it because Asians can, rebirth other Asians?
Oh my god, Chili made an emote of Buscemi in a pumpkin. Sorry, we're new to the channel points thing, and that just made my day. He's popping out of a jack-o'-lantern. All right, sorry, Pete. Okay, sorry, back. I'm focused. I love that so much. All right.
Did you hear my answer?
No, what'd you say?
I think it's because, Asians have the ability to kind of, rebirth other Asians.
Do all Asians have this ability?
Yes.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay, so the souls that had the titles of Emmet Selk, Lahabrea, and Elidibus are unsundered. Once they truly die, they can never be raised. The other Asians, I don't know how to say this one, whatever, can be raised from sundered souls and can be raised again, in theory, up to 14 times. Killing Elidibus is essential because only unsundered Asians can raise sundered souls into Asians, and being the final unsundered soul, he is the only one left who can. So if he dies, all of the Asians
I think
die.
that's what I said. Pretty sure.
I think you got what's the half red and half green? You got brown? Kind of half right.
Works with the shit podcast.
Half right, half wrong.
All right, Avi, really quickly, I think a little bit of discussion we can have is how are we going to prep for patch 5.1? We talked about a lot of stuff that's coming.
I don't think it's how we are, it's how you can, depending upon what you want.
Okay. So maybe all this content could get a little bit overwhelming for you. You don't know where to start first. So I thought it'd be a good idea if we discuss some of the things we've learned from our time in Final Fantasy XIV.
You got 11 days until 5.1, guys.
Yes.
As of tonight.
And I think the number one thing to prep for, if you are in need of it, is housing. As we mentioned previously, the new housing ward upon release will only be available to free companies. So if you're looking to buy your first personal house, you won't be able to buy it in the new wards.
Nope.
So if you haven't been able to buy a small house right now, you're kind of SOL.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's one available on your server, it's our recommendation that you try to buy it. Because the good thing is, if you already own a house, in these new wards, you will be able to relocate to them. So if you're able to get a small house in a current ward, you could possibly relocate to a medium or a large or a better plot small, if you like. So that's something you should do before the patch. If there's any housing available on your server and you want to get a shot at a larger house, is buy whatever's available on your current server, which if you're on a high population server, there might not be any available. But even I was able to get one on Gilgamesh a couple months ago. So yeah, it's not impossible.
It's very RNG. And it's going to continue to be. I mean, if you're an FC and you want to transfer a house, you're going to be fighting against the other FCs to try to do so. But again, you can do it. So be sure to try. And thank you, Rice Swallow Come 4442. I really appreciate that new follow.
You got baited. And if you have an FC without a house and you're looking to buy, make sure you have everything ready to go before the patch. If you need to collect gil from people, don't wait until the last minute. You're also going to need to get some sleep early because you'll most likely be waking up pretty early, especially if you're on the West Coast. And if your FC leader can't make it at that time, they need to give access to an officer to be able to buy the plot.
Good to know.
So regardless, if you're looking for a personal or FC housing, that will be the number one thing you do on patch day. If you want a house, that's all you're going to be doing at the beginning.
So if you are prepping for that and you're an FC that wants to buy this house, then you are definitely going to need to start saving up money now or gil so that you can have it ready to go so that you'll have enough gil to buy it when they are available.
Exactly.
Also, I do want to say that, so chat just asked, where do I get the Halloween gear? So Space Floater, there isn't actually any Halloween gear that's available with this year's event. You can get a housing item and you can get a mount. But if you want to get Halloween gear from the previous years, be sure to go to the Mog Station and spend your hard-earned dollars.
And by far, the thing that most people in my streams have been looking forward to is the 24-man raid. And if the trend stays the same... You gotta read that name again, Avi?
Nope, I'm gonna ban the person. I'm a moderator, bitch.
Most people are looking forward to the 24-man raid, and if the trend stays the same, the minimum eye level for this content should be 435. So if you want to be able to challenge that right away, you need to try to at least hit that eye level. And I think it will be dropping eye level 460 gear. So to get your eye level up, your options are Gosha Tomes, which get you to eye level 440 gear.
So what do you think the minimum eye level is going to be?
435.
All right, let me check what I'm at.
Pretty sure you have it.
I do. So you guys don't have to be that hardcore to get there. You can do it.
Yeah. So if you need a weapon, Titania X drops a eye level 450 weapon. Innocence X drops eye level 450 accessories. Eden Normal drops tokens to turn in for eye level 450 gear. Crafted gear is eye level 450. Phantasmagoria Tomes will get you eye level 460 gear. And you can upgrade that to 470 with Eden Savage drops. And Eden Savage itself drops eye level 470 gear and a 475 weapon. And the easiest way is probably a combo of Tomes and Eden Normal gear with maybe a piece of Titania weapon or Innocence accessories thrown in.
Exactly. And the next thing you can do to prep for 5.1 is talk to your friends before the patch. It's usually more fun to do new content with friends or FC mates. If you want to do the new 24-man raid with your best friend in game but get off work later, just say, hey, would you mind holding off on that content for a couple hours so I can do it with you? Pete, I think your new raid group, your raid group's going to be the new Primal on Tuesday?
Yeah, we're probably going to take a little break from Savage and do the new Primal when it comes out. And I don't mind doing that because you're not really interested in doing the extreme primals right now.
Nope.
So I don't feel bad about doing that. But if they wanted to do 24-man, I'd be like, oh, I'm sitting this one out because I know Avi wants to do that. And that's what we'll be doing on Wednesday.
Yep.
So
well,
communicate with each other.
Actually, we won't be doing that on Wednesday, Pete, because the last week of October, my class switches to Monday, Wednesday. So I won't be here to play with you.
Son of a bitch.
I'm sorry.
I just said communicate.
I've put it on my calendar and told you because starting in November.
No one cares about this.
We won't be doing dual streams together.
Okay.
Why are you being a dick?
No one cares. We're doing a podcast. That's not for the podcast. The community. Oh, it's the community roundup, partner. And we need to give shout outs to a couple of places where we got a lot of information for this podcast outline from. And it's the live letter translations that happened at both the Reddit Discord and the Balance Discord. So you can go over to the Balance ffxiv.com and reddit.com/r/ffxiv. And there will be links to their Discords in there, and they were so helpful for this live letter. Thank you so much for putting that out there for the community to enjoy.
And from listener reaction, we have from Twitter, we have at Johnny Smith Apple, who did a shout out to Squishy the Fish, DLL, at Hex Tech Bomber, and She Heals I Tank for the hosts and raids. Having your communities hang out is absolutely a joy. And then they sent their love over to Mad Titan Kronos, who passed it off to Floofy Official.
And Susan Spoopy Sprinkles now, since it's Halloween, did a little follow Friday and shouted out some great creators, including us, and Maelstrom Radio, Moogle Go Round, Corset and Games, Hyper Pixie Games, Bird of Chess, Eris, Naira, Crucible FFXIV. Go check them all out.
And Mog Moxie tweets, thanks to the amazing vegan Pete at She Heals I Tank for the awesome promo code. He was so generous to give me one. I figured I would share if anyone wanted them. Please, 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 if you have a chance, check out their amazing streams and podcast at shehealsitank.com.
And Mocha Jones 10 said, at She Heals I Tank is currently raising for hashtag Ditch the Label to help combat bullying. Thank you for sharing that for us.
Oh, and it's another tweet from Mocha Jones, but I really did like this one. It said, finally got around to listening to the last podcast where She Heals I Tank. That 15-second shout-out challenge issued to at @MoogleGoRound_Chili was incredible. Was I the last one? Also, grats on the big 150 chili.
And Kooky Persona. Going out to shop for a new phone. My current phone turns off within 5 minutes of use now. In the meantime, check out Pete and Avi, the wonderful duo of She Heals I Tank. They are doing a charity stream for a great cause. Please give them some love and noms.
And finally, at Rathok says, pass the party this eve over to She Heals I Tank for hashtag Twitch Sings, hashtag charity stream. Have a great Thursday, y'all. Twitch.tv/She Heals I Tank, hashtag Smilebringers, hashtag Ditch the Label. And I do want to remind you guys, we are going to be streaming for Smilebringers Ditch the Label this coming Wednesday, 5:30, 7:30 p.m. We raised about $75 last Wednesday, which was super awesome. Our goal is to raise $200. If we can do that this Wednesday, it would be amazing. So be sure to tune in if you guys are against bullying.
And if you don't tune in, you're for the bullies.
Also, that was the first time we ever did Twitch Sings, and it was ridiculous. And so yeah.
I did much better than Avi.
It's not a lie.
All right, Avi, you took a gamble, and it looks like it paid off. You checked the Apple podcast reviews.
Actually, that took a gamble, and it paid off greatly. It was the title for this review.
That's how you wrote it.
Nope.
This is from Tim Westby. And says, looked up Final Fantasy XIV podcast to listen to at work and when grinding, and this stuck out to me. I gave it a shot, and it's fantastic. Great dynamic between Avi and Pete, really digging it.
Thank you so much. I do want to say you did spell my name right. You put a question mark. I really appreciate it and glad you're enjoying it. We have a lot of fun.
All right, Avi, I think you can take us out.
All right, nothing else you want to add?
Nope.
All right, so on Nope, that is going to be it for this
Leslie
episode.
Nope.
As always, we've enjoyed hanging out with all of you live here on Twitch, so thank you so much for spending your time with us, and now you can use your channel points to actually get value with your time, which is really fun, and make super cute emotes and all that kind of stuff. Be sure to hit that follow button so you know the next time we will be going live. Pete, stop it. That's mean. And a great big thank you to everyone listening to the podcast through iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and whatever app came out yesterday that I haven't heard about yet. You really are the reason we keep making episodes. And I want you to remember, wherever you do listen, it would mean a shit ton to us if you gave our little shit podcast a rating or review. Or more importantly, tell a friend to check us out. Here with Vegan Pete, I am Avi Ale, and we will talk to you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.